What's good? It's Woog. It has been reported and confirmed that Devin Haney is going to be defending his WBC super lightweight title against Ryan Garcia. I think it was first report. Look, I don't want to get credit wrong in terms of who was the first report. All I know is I had read that it was Mike Coppinger. It was confirmed by Dan Rayfield, confirmed by Boxing Scene. It was tweeted or X'd by Michael Benson. So you let me know if you know who is the first to report that this fight was made. Let me know in the comments. All I know is it sounds like Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is about to go down April 20th in Las Vegas. I think the specific site is yet to be determined. And this news is coming right on the heels of a stinker of a fight between Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz. I just did a recap on that one. I thought that Jermaine Ortiz did enough to edge the fight, something like 7 rounds to 5. It wasn't anything to write home about, but I thought that it was a bit of a boxing clinic, especially in the first half. But it wasn't a great night of action, and it didn't do anything to heighten anticipation for Teofimo's next fight. But just on the heels of that, we're getting this news that Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is about to go down. And it's kind of funny because this fight has been like years in the making, right? They've teased this for at least 2 years. I would say it really started to pick up around the time Ryan Garcia stopped Luke Campbell in January of 2021. Like, these two had moments where they were facing off in the ring. And this is when Devin Haney had his share of the WBC lightweight title. So this is around the same time Vasily Lomachenko defended his titles against Teofimo Lopez. So this has been a couple years in the making. In fact, Ryan Garcia at one point was the mandatory, or was at least the next in line for Devin Haney's WBC lightweight belt. Ryan Garcia turned that down and then ended up walking away from the sport for a while, came back to fight Emmanuel Tago, then Javier Fortuna, and eventually the super duper fight against Gervonta Davis, and fought one more after that KO loss at Davis against Oscar Duarte. Whereas Devin Haney's trajectory since becoming a WBC lightweight title holder was Alfredo Santiago, Yuriorkis Gamboa, Jorge Linares, Jojo Diaz, George Kambosos twice, and then Vasily Lomachenko, and then he went up and then he beat Regis Prograis for that WBC super lightweight title. So belts wise, and I would say just step-by-step decision wise, Devin Haney's been about as good as you could get, especially by the age of 25. I remember just a few years ago, people were like criticizing him for not really fighting any elite fighters when he was like 20, 21 years old. I'm like, yo, he is right on schedule, if not ahead of schedule. And this is at the time where he was fighting Gamboa, Linares, and Jojo Diaz. Devin Haney was like in his early 20s fighting those guys. So I'm like, yo, kick back. He's gonna get his opportunities, because at the time, I mean, proposed fight against Lomachenko and step aside, Devin Haney was wanting to fight these other, 4 kings, which was reduced to 4 princes, but that's what they were calling that young group of Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, who was a few years older. Teofimo Lopez is a year or 2 older than Haney or Ryan Garcia, but then you had Haney, Garcia, and then Shakur Stevenson a couple divisions below at the time. But it was like this young crop of emerging fighters. I was always under the impression that Devin Haney was down to fight any of these guys. And I think that his track record shows that he's been down for it. Like, he flew out. I know George Kambosos isn't like an A+ level fighter, but those were high stakes and that was high risk. Flying out to Australia to fight the at the time, red hot off of the win against Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos agreed to fight him twice to win the title and then to retain the title, both dominant performances, and then to circle back and fight Lomachenko. Devin Haney isn't afraid of risk. Look, right after fighting Lomachenko, which yes, that was a controversial or disputed decision, he then went up to challenge Regis Prograis. So I have been super impressed by his willingness to take on challenging fights, fight over fight, and really trying to strive for glory. And then from a business standpoint, while making a bunch of money in the process. So I think that he has struck the right balance of business and legacy. Again, he's only 25 years old. Ryan Garcia was big game hunting early. He was always trying to get that fight against Gervonta Davis, which he did get. And he was kind of weight drained and, rehydration clauses and all that. But he ended up suffering a 7th round knockout. And then 2 fights later, props to Ryan Garcia for agreeing to challenge Devin Haney for his WBC 140-pound title. Because at the time, for a minute, it looked like it might be Ryan Garcia against Rolly Romero. So props to Ryan Garcia for stepping up and fighting who is clearly an elite fighter, Devin Haney. And, whereas back in the day, I think that those who understood Devin Haney's skills would have probably thought that he matched up well against Ryan Garcia. Although when Garcia was about to fight Tank Davis, you had a lot of people picking Ryan Garcia to beat Tank. Paulie Malignaggi picked Ryan Garcia. I know that Paulie Malignaggi's had his issues with Devin Haney on a more personal level. Chris Mannix picked Ryan Garcia to beat Gervonta Davis. So it's not like people thought that Ryan Garcia was a scrub. Yes, we knew that he had his technical flaws, but Garcia is clearly a very talented fighter and a natural puncher. So I won't totally count him out in this fight against Devin Haney, but you've got to lean Devin Haney in terms of the likelihood that he wins, right? Like, I can't wait to break this one down and to give a full fight preview as we get a little closer to that April 20th fight date. But just like gut instinct, Devin Haney has shown us a lot. And for those who, were criticizing him for being pillow-fisted or being a boring fighter or just a lot of the things that he was kind of labeled while he was like 21, 22 years old, you can't say that you're not impressed by his fight-by-fight performance. Look, even if you thought that Lomachenko beat Devin Haney, you would have had to have thought that Lomachenko edged the fight. If you're truly judging that fight round over round, there's no way you thought that Lomachenko won like 8 rounds to 4 or 9 rounds to 3. So even if you thought that Devin Haney got away with one there, you have to acknowledge that that was a very close and competitive fight. So, it's not Devin Haney's fault that he was awarded that decision. Look, I thought that Devin Haney did enough to win something like 7 rounds to 5, maybe even 8 rounds to 4, but I'll go 7 rounds to 5. Wouldn't have been mad at a draw either. But point being, Devin Haney has silenced, I would imagine, even his harshest critics and his most adamant critics. In my opinion, he's doing everything that us fight fans want our young stars to do, to test yourself, to not be scared to take the risk and to fight an elite fighter. Devin Haney has shown the willingness to do that. And, props to Bill Haney for the way that he has helped manage Devin Haney's career. But it's had to be Devin Haney to go in the ring and to perform in the way that he has, fight over fight. So you can't get too much more impressive by the age of 25. Accomplishments wise, again, undisputed at lightweight and now a 2-division champion after beating Regis Prograis. So I'm loving Devin Haney's career at this point. Ryan Garcia, out of those 4 princes, or we'll say 4 princes, and then you can include Shakur Stevenson, and let's include Vasily Lomachenko because he was kind of the gold standard of that era that we're coming out of at lightweight. Out of all these guys, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, after they fight each other, they are the only 2 out of that group to have fought 2 of those other guys from the group. Teofimo Lopez has fought 1 Lomachenko. Well, Lomachenko has fought 2 because Lomachenko at this point has fought Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. But Devin Haney would have fought Vasily Lomachenko and Ryan Garcia. Garcia obviously fought Tank Davis and Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson is having trouble getting any of these guys in the ring. Teofimo Lopez fought Lomachenko, hasn't fought one of those guys since, although he did go up and he fought Josh Taylor. So, that is just as good as fighting one of these guys. So props to Teofimo Lopez for doing that. And I would say that the most disappointing fight over fight schedule, fight by fight schedule, has been Gervonta Tank Davis. He fought Ryan Garcia, who most might say is the least risky in terms of just overall abilities and boxing IQ. And, just if you were to have a round robin with all these guys fighting each other, I think that most people would think that this would break down into Ryan Garcia taking the most L's out of the group. But yeah, Gervonta Davis, I can't say that I'm pleased with his fight-by-fight trajectory. We'll see who he fights next. I hope it's not a disappointment, but aside from the Ryan Garcia fight, I feel like almost every Gervonta Davis announced fight has been a disappointment, even if some of those wins have aged well, like the one against Mario Barrios. I feel like that's a win for Tank that's aged very well, but I wasn't happy to hear that Tank Davis is about to fight Raleigh Romero or even Isaac Cruz or, I mean, Leo Santa Cruz. That was kind of a weird one, weight-wise and all that. There's always something off about a Gervonta Davis fight in terms of what he's asking of his opponent. Hector Garcia, go up and fight me at lightweight. Ryan Garcia, come down and don't rehydrate to fight me. Leo Santa Cruz, Leo Santa Cruz wasn't at his best at 130. He was never a great 130 guy. So there's always just a little asterisk or a little caveat to Gervonta Davis fights. I just wish he would kick all that BS to the side and get in the ring with either Lomachenko or Teofimo. I would love if they announce, after now that Teofimo Lopez has just had his fight, I would love for them to announce Gervonta Davis versus Teofimo Lopez or Teo versus Tank Davis, since it's technically Teo that's the belt holder. I'm not expecting to get that. I'm just saying as a fight fan, I would love to get that. But yeah, super excited that they're announcing Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Again, I am not counting Ryan Garcia out. I look at him as being a very talented fighter. On paper, they are calling Devin Haney 5'8", and they're calling Ryan Garcia 5'8.5". That would surprise me if Garcia is only a half an inch taller than Haney, because I swear, like in 2021, I've seen these guys face off, and I would have assumed that Garcia was a good 2 inches taller than Devin Haney. So if he does turn out to be only a half an inch taller, Ryan Garcia might really be in trouble in terms of Devin Haney's ability to kind of control the pace and the real estate and to work off the jab. Like, it might be a long night for Ryan Garcia. But if things go Ryan Garcia's way, it might be a short night for both guys. I can't wait to see how this one plays out. I can't wait to do more videos on this fight. By the way, on paper, Devin Haney has a 2-inch reach advantage. Let me know what your earliest thoughts are. Again, my earliest thoughts are, I'm not counting Ryan Garcia out, but I could see this being a very embarrassing affair for Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney might once again show his class and really demonstrate how great he is against an opponent like Ryan Garcia. But they have a deep amateur history. What did they supposedly fight like 6 times where it broke like 3-3 in terms of who won? Let me know if you have a deeper knowledge of their amateur fight history against one another. Again, it's my understanding that it was 3-3, but in terms of their professional fight Ryan Garcia impressed against Luke Campbell, and he did, pull off the knockout against Oscar Duarte, even though there were so many weird things about his defense, about that Philly shell that turned into, let me just turn my back to my opponent. Like, it almost looked amateur-ish in the way that Ryan Garcia was defending himself when Duarte was coming in. So I didn't like that, but it does look like Ryan Garcia is trying to pick up some new wrinkles and new skills. But Devin Haney is just looking he's looking so complete at this stage. And now that he's at 140, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think he's got a little more thump on his punches at 140. I mean, he dropped Regis Prograis, but yeah, let me know. I'm really excited about this one. Even if you guys now think that this is lopsided towards Devin Haney, and I would be curious to see what the betting, you know what? Let me pull up the betting odds and see if I can find some. Here we go. The only thing that I'm seeing is from Odds Shark, and they've got Devin Haney at a -450 and Ryan Garcia as a +320, a greater than 3-1 underdog. They have Ryan Garcia out at right now. Man, a lot's changed. What do you think those odds would have been in 2021 when Devin Haney was about to fight Jorge Linares, or had just fought Jorge Linares, and Ryan Garcia had just fought Luke Campbell? What would the odds have been there, at that time? Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this one. Yeah, good news for boxing fans, right? Are you giving Ryan Garcia a legitimate shot at upsetting, in this case, Devin Haney? Who are you taking at this stage and how? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And are you happy with this matchmaking? Please let me know your thoughts. And good for Devin Haney getting this ultra payday. He's already had a lot of those pay your dues fights, right? Linares, Jojo Diaz, 2 against Kambosos, becoming undisputed, you know, and then retaining that. Lomachenko, I mean, what is more of a king-making win than a win over Lomachenko? And then Regis Prograis, it's like, damn. So now he's gonna fight the guy with the big name that doesn't have the reputation in terms of quality as a Regis Prograis, right? Or the credentials of a Lomachenko. Right now, Ryan Garcia is still a bit more sizzle in terms of name recognition, more sizzle than substance. So props to Devin Haney for getting what I'm sure is going to be a mega payday and a title defense of his WBC 140-pound belt. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are into the fight talk. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.